Hi everyone, I'm Bart Herbison, Executive Director of the Nashville Songwriters Association with, you know what, every time I'm in the room with you, this is probably so inappropriate, I just feel love. You
I hope
make
so,
me
Bart.
feel so good. You
That's
just
because
got
I love you. I've loved you for a long time.
You got a spirit. Leslie Satcher, everyone. Troubadour. And for George's sort of farewell tour, which we all hope it's really not.
Yeah, we hope he's lying.
You and Monty Holmes wrote that, but it's your story. It's a lot of stories. And when I
Monty's.
heard that, I just went, it's the perfect George Strait song for this project. How's it your story?
Well, I started playing in this town at the Bluebird. I auditioned for the Sunday night show, and I auditioned with two guys who had been here for a while and had already been performing at Opryland, and they were seasoned guys. They could play guitars, and I really couldn't play that well. And I made it for the Monday night show. You had to audition for the Monday night show or something like that, Sunday, whatever. And I was 26, and I stood up there, and I remember even now, a lot of times I played Troubadour at the Bluebird, and I think I started like 2 feet over right there. Because I never played clubs in Texas. We didn't, you know, that was a honky-tonk, so you had to have a band.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really have that scene going. I was playing at church and school and what have you. So I first started clubs up in Nashville, and it was so easy of a song to write, Bart, because it talks about in the chorus where it says, sometimes I feel like Jesse James still trying to make a name, knowing nothing's going to change who I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote in on a song. I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone. Well, I mean, Monty and I, when we hit that line, I still feel like Jesse James. I mean, Monty's had tons of hits, 2 or 3 George Strait hits. All writers, I don't care how far down the line you are, and even George Strait apparently related to that. I don't know, I've never actually met him. But that line, we all feel that way every day. I still feel like I'm trying to make a name. You know, you might have the biggest hit in the world, and the next day you walk in, you're going, oh, Lance, I got to start climbing that mountain again. I'd like, you know, Casey Beathard, he's a really sweet friend of mine, Alan Shamlin. Those guys, when they have those ginormous hits, the next day, it hits them like a water balloon. They're like, oh my gosh, you know. They're so humble, and they think, I can't do it again. Of course they do, many times, and will continue to. But all of us feel that way.
Maybe that's part of why they do, because it comes from somewhere else, and
And
humble's got to be a little part of it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, Bart, about that song that I love so
Got
much.
to be confident, but you got to wear it well.
That's right, that's right. One of the things that's such a blessing about that song, it is a gift. It was a gift from God, so it's bigger than us. And the second something like that, it gets out of you, and you realize it's so much bigger than you, you're like, oh man, I hope I get to be a part of this as it goes on down the road. Well, I've had, at shows on the road, I've had little old fellas that have done nothing but play the VFW their whole lives and whatever, and they've got their little guitar come up to me and say, that is my song. And I've asked them to sing that song at my funeral. And then I've had young guys come up to me and go, that's my song. And I've had big stars tell me, that's my song. And I've had other people tell me, I want that engraved on something for me when I go. And you're like, holy cow. I mean, if that swipe of people can relate to something, A, the song is much bigger than you, and B, you did something right that day. You shut up and you held the pen. You let God send it on down. Honky tonks on city limits, man, I'm still right there, and I'm singing above the crowd and the noise. Sometimes I feel like Jesse James, still trying to make a name, knowing nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote in on a song. I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone. I was a young troubadour